simplify this example so it's easy to understand, because it is kind of hard to understand for a lot of people. Okay. So let's say we have a business, call it a web design business, all right? And this first method, we're going to do cash basis. Cash basis is simply recording money as you receive it, all right, and recording payments as you pay it. Let's make an example. For example, in November, let's say I received $20,000 in payments for work that I did during the year, all right? Your income would be what, Solomon? $20,000, right? $20,000. I also paid $5,000 in payments for supplies and other expenses. So during November. So for November, my income would be $20,000. My expenses $5,000. My net income in the month $15,000. Pretty simple, right? All right. So for an accrual basis, same thing. In November, I received $20,000 in payments. All right, for work that I did during the year. None of the work was done in November. All right, all the work was done early in the year, but I still received the money in November. What would be my income for November? I'll tell you what it is. Zero, nothing. Okay. Why? Because in the accrual basis, income is recorded when the work is performed. All right. Okay. Not when it's paid. All right. That's the big difference. And the reason for that is in accounting, they have something called the matching principle. You record your income when the work is performed. You record your expenses when it occurs. Okay. The accrual basis gives you a better picture of your financial condition. All right. Let's go back to the $20,000 that you received during November. If you received that $20,000 in November for work that was done in January, right? February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, you had no business. And you had no business, then your company really isn't doing well. All right? So, but when you record your income, when you do the work, it smooths it out so that a bank can say, okay, I see you did work, you billed work in January, I see you billed work in February, March, April, June, July. Irregardless of whether or not you got paid for it, at least they know you're doing work. All right? Then it becomes a collection issue. All right? So if this sounds a little complex, sometimes it is, and that's why for a small business, the best way to go is cash basis. All right? Because cash basis is more important for a small business because you want to know how much cash is in the bank right now. All right? And accrual isn't really required for a small business, especially businesses that bring in, say, less than $25 million a year, so it's not something you really want to do. But if you are thinking about applying for a loan from a bank, banks really want to see, and investors really want to see your financials on an accrual basis, just to see what type of work you're doing, not when the money's coming in. They want to see, are you busy? What type of work are you doing? So, but again, for a small business, a startup, you don't want the complexities of accrual basis. You want to keep it cash basis. That way you know how much money's in the bank. This is how much I brought in today. This is what I put in the bank today. I need to keep that going. So I wouldn't recommend accrual for you right at this time.
Okay. All right. And you want to keep it simple, man, when you're just starting out anyway.
Yeah. And, and the question here, and I appreciate, like I said, one of the partners knows some accounting. And it's great that I love the fact that people who, if they have a skill set, it brings information to the conversation, but I'm glad that they elevated up and just got some more advice from someone else. But, share the knowledge, share the wealth, and if you just have a concern, ask, and, ask others and just to verify. But, keep it simple. Right now it's about cash in the bank and keeping your cash flow. Actually, the cash flow statement is probably the most important statement to make sure that you're bringing cash and can pay your bills. And then as you go on, other statements become more important than other ones. But very good question. Very good question.
All right. So how do people get in contact with you, Akbar?
I'm on Twitter at AKHassanReal and email at akbar-hassan@comcast.net.
All right. All right. Well, I want to thank you as always, brother, for just educating us around the issue of money and business and all of that, because this is information that we absolutely need in our community. So thank you, Akbar. We appreciate it.
My pleasure, Solomon.
All right. We'll talk to you soon. So we want to hear from you. Give us a call, 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. That is the number that you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD Radio. Let us know where you are in these various things. we are talking about on this morning's show. 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. Of course, you can also weigh in on Facebook at 4WURD. That's FORWURD, FORWURD, and let us know where you are on these various things we are talking about on this morning's show. Kawesa, what are they saying this morning on Facebook?
So we actually have quite a few comments here weighing in about the horror villains. Phyllis Williams, yes, Frankenstein and Wolfman. Scary, they played those movies when the schools allowed to show movies many moons ago. So that was one comment that was made here. Delilah Levister, good morning, Word family. Happy Friday the 13th. And then she has like a little skull on there. And Melissa Brunson says, yes, Dorian Gray read the book too. He gets karma for all of his evil doings. And then Lamar G. Dye Sr. says, how about those gremlins? Don't get them wet. Keep them out of sunlight and never, never, never feed them after midnight. So that's another comment as well. I did love me some Gizmo though. So
yeah,
he was so cute. And then Troy Foster says Trilogy of Terror. So that's another comment. Atia Hicks, yeah, Omen, good one. And then also Barry Henson says creepy old man from Phantasm. And can't forget the doll Annabelle. Yeah, I don't know. I have to look that up because I don't know anything about Phantasm. But he does say the doll from Annabelle. I'm telling you, I have a problem with dolls, okay? I will never, I'm not going to do it again. Like, after Chucky, I was like, no, get these dolls out of my room. That's why I like stuffed animals, because I can't. I can't with the dolls. So, yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you.
Yeah, the creepy old man from Phantasm was absolutely creepy. So, and that's a movie, God, it had to be, 1979. So, yeah, I want to hear from you. Give us a call, 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. That is the number you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD Radio. Let's go to Yusef from Swedesboro, New Jersey, on line 2. Go ahead, Yusef.
Hey, good morning, Solomon and family.
Good morning.
Hey, I had three quick things. One, you were mentioning Trump being able to pardon himself. I thought he could only pardon things for federal, not state.
Right. He asked if he could pardon himself. He that's the question he's been asking apparently since 2017. But no. And you're right. It's he can pardon federal crimes, not state crimes.
And the next one is, I was listening to another media outlet today, and they were talking about the fact that, one reason why he's been in his bunker for these last 8 days is that they're saying something about money, where I don't know if it's him personally that has a deficit in money or if it's his campaign. And that's why they've been out trying to raise these funds, for all of these legal things and all that, because that money can be used elsewhere.
Okay. All right. Well, I hear you. I know he's got a big debt. He's got and when the New York Times uncovered his taxes, they found that he owed somebody like $400 million, right? And so that's a lot of money. That and the fact that he's facing state charges in New York, and those are things he can't pardon, Yep. So it's crazy, man. So I want to thank you for your call this morning, Yusef, on WURD.
You got a minute?
Yeah, go ahead.
Last one is, for our brother Biden and Kamala, when they get before they get to the White House, they better exterminate and fumigate, because ain't no telling what type of germs and bugs they done left in there.
I know that's right. I want to thank you, man. You're right. And you're not the first person who said that today, so I appreciate that, and I appreciate your call this morning on WURD. So my wife likes old movies. Now, this movie is from the 70s, and she has watched it repeatedly. It's called Burnt Offerings, and she said the character is the possessed house and Mrs. Allardyce. So, there's two kind of really scary, creepy characters in that movie. It's called Burnt Offering. So I want to thank my wife for that. And, of course, she also said that Jared Kushner looks like Dorian Gray. So I want to hear from you. Give me a call, 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. Gary from Chester is on line 3. Go ahead, Gary.
Simon Jones, thanks for taking my call.
Yep.
Simon Jones, this guy owed what? How much money do a 45 owe?
Like 400 million.
Yeah, man, that's enough to keep you hiding. Yeah, I think the scary movie is To Sleep with Anger, and the character in there was Danny Glover. That's a very good movie, but it's one to sit down and look at movies, but it's got a little creepiness with it.
To Sleep with Anger.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shirley Ralph is in there too, and Regina King is in there. Yep.
Love it. All right, man. Thank you for your call this morning on WURD. Appreciate you, Gary. 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. Kawais, I just need to put these cookies out. I do.
Throw them away, you mean?
Well, maybe give them away. Give away the pack, the unopened part, the unopened pack. Because they come in 2 packs.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I keep eating them, and I'm hoping. And it's just dashing my hopes with every bite.
That's the worst. Don't you hate it when you're like, man, you got your mouth fixed for something, and it don't even taste right? You're just like,
don't taste right.
This was pointless. It's really sad. I get in my feelings when my food don't taste right. I really do.
They done messed up. They done messed up these cookies. They done messed up these cookies. And you know how I know they messed them up? Because on the side, they got this thing that says 100 calories. Oh. I know y'all have messed them up now because they all wasn't counting the calories before.
Oh, my gosh.
You know what I'm saying? Just put the ingredients back in, man. Stop playing with me. Let's go to Yvette from Fairmount on line 1. Go ahead, Yvette.
Hey, I wanted to chime in on scary movies.
Okay, let's hear it.
But nothing really ever scared me, but real life is scarier.
Yeah.
When I was a little girl, this was back in the 60s, they had Fire Prevention Week, okay? They would show these movies about kids starting fires with matches. And then at the end, they would show a house burned down and a fireman bringing out dead people.
Oh, Lord.
That was frightening. In fact, when I was a little girl, Fire Prevention Week so upset me that I didn't want my bed near an outlet. I was unplugging stuff all over the house. My father finally went to the school because he was disturbed that I was so upset and made them show him the movie. My dad was a Marine. And when he saw that movie, he was like, why are you showing this to little kids? I mean, literally the fireman would come out of the house with a dead kid in his arms.
Oh, my goodness.
And, well, you don't see those films anymore, right?
No, you don't. But I bet you didn't play with matches, though, did you?
Oh, no. But then also, this is another thing you don't see anymore, the car accident films during driver's ed.
Yeah.
They used to show, and these pictures that came from the car accidents were real. They had people, there's a documentary about it. They would have people that would literally be on call to go to the scene of an accident. And you would see dead bodies, real, and that's what they would show during driver's ed.
Lord have mercy. I want to thank you for your call this morning on WRD. We do have to go to break. On the other side, we're going to continue the show. I'm Solomon Jones. We'll be right back.
There's a pressing need to strengthen pathways to better jobs in communities of color. That's why Bank of America is investing $1 billion to advance racial equality and economic opportunity.
I'm Jim Dever, Greater Philadelphia Market President for Bank of America. We've partnered with Coded by Kids to connect people to new skills and employment opportunities. It's just one way we're taking action in Greater Philadelphia right now.
Bank of America N.A., member FDIC, equal credit opportunity lender.
Monday through Thursday, keep it locked to WURD Radio. At 6 a.m., start your day with the Power Hour, hosted by Bishop Dwayne Royster and Reverend Mark Kelly Tyler. At 7, it's Wake Up with WURD with Solomon Jones. At 10 a.m., it's Reality Check with Charles Ellison. Then at 1 p.m., it's The Source, hosted by Andrea Lawful Sanders on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, and the Black Women's Leadership Council on Wednesdays. At 4 p.m., it's Evening Words with Nick Taliaferro. Then at 7, it's Save Space with Sincerely Sarita. At 9 p.m., round up your day with Keeping It Real with the Reverend Al Sharpton. Keep your dial locked to WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD. Streaming live on WURDradio.com and the WURD Radio app. Or watch live on WURD TV via Facebook and YouTube. WURD Radio. Independent Black Media. Now, a WURD Radio election update. Here's WURD's election coverage reporter in partnership with VoteBeat, Sojourner Ahebe.
I'm Sojourner Ahebe with today's election coverage report. West Philadelphia resident Ilya Knizhnik has volunteered as a poll worker for almost 20 years.
People use the expression, this is the most important election, a little too much, but this really is. Coming from somebody that's volunteered in almost every election, this is kind of the defining election of at least my life.
Knizhnik worked the polls all day Tuesday in West Philadelphia's Belmont neighborhood at Allen Locke Elementary School. He says running an election during a pandemic has had voters confused about how to cast their ballots.
These satellite offices opened at 11:30. The voting sites opened at 8 a.m. But they told people, it's like, oh, if you requested a mail-in ballot, go to the satellite office, which was closed.
Despite the option to cast a vote via mail-in and avoid the lines and the potential to be exposed to the virus, many black voters expressed a desire to come in person. Thomas Friend of Cobbs Creek is from the same neighborhood Walter Wallace Jr. was fatally shot by Philadelphia police officers on October 26, just days before the presidential election. Friend says Wallace's death struck a chord from within and motivated him to vote in person because he felt it would have more of an immediate impact on Election Day.
It can make a big impact on a lot of things that's taking place within the country and within our neighborhoods.
Poll workers across the city kept lines moving efficiently and quelled confusion and tensions as they arose. Chris has lived in Overbrook for 17 years. When a machine went down at her polling location early Tuesday, she knew she had to keep calm.
Communicate with them, trying to keep their spirit light. Yeah, I meditate, so it was easy not to get caught up in the rah-rah, because some people, the tensions were high.
Andre Black has been a resident of West Philadelphia's Black Bottom since the 1960s. He's one of the many African-American seniors who came out on Election Day to work the polls.
I'm 70, so my thing is, I'm going to go about doing the right thing because I believe in these people.
He's referring to a T-shirt he wore on Tuesday that's decorated with African-American abolitionists and civil rights activists like Sojourner Truth, Frederick Douglass, and Fannie Lou Hamer. He told me there was one machine that wasn't working when polls opened at 7 a.m., and it didn't 2 hours later. Ultimately, poll workers like Black were the backbone of Election Day. For Knizhnik, this election has a lot at stake.
There is no humanity in this White House. There is no art in this White House. There is nothing that in this White House that unites the nation.
But there's also hope.
I think the unprecedented situation that we're in really gets more people out and energized and willing to brave all the difficulties and come out.
In Philadelphia, Sojourner Ahebe, WURD Radio.
This was a WURD Radio election update presented in partnership with VoteBeat. Keep your dial locked to WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD. Independent Black Media. WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD Philadelphia. Black Talk Media. It's Wake Up with WURD, hosted by Solomon Jones. Good morning. Right now on WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD.
Good morning. This is Solomon Jones on 900 AM, 96.1 FM, WURD, and we're back. And we're taking your calls at 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. We're talking about a number of things, including things we need to transition to and transition from in the wake of this election, beyond just the presidency. Also, in honor of Friday the 13th. And Donald Trump now playing the role of Jason, trying to chase down and kill your democracy. We are talking about our favorite horror movie characters. And on the line now, Sana Moore is online too. Good morning, Sana.
Hey, Solomon. Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm glad you and Kawisa are feeling better.
Yeah, me too. Thank you.
But I wanted to talk about the scary movies. That daggone trilogy of terror. Karen Black. And that little doll. Oh my God. That scared the mess out of me. That little doll chasing her around with the knife. And then at the end, I think she turned into something like that. And all you see is her on the floor, banging a knife into the floor, waiting for her mom to come. And that scared the mess. And I was little. I was real. I think I was like 4 or 5 when that came out.
So what you doing looking at that?
I don't know. I used to love horror movies, but that freaked me out.
Yeah. I'm looking at the posters for it now. Yeah, I guess it would.
Yeah,
I guess it
that
would.
girl had them teeth. Yeah. Oh goodness.
Oh man, thanks, Sana.
You all good. Have a good one.
All right. We appreciate your call this morning on WURD radio. We want to hear from you. Give us a call, 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. I don't know if you, Kawisa, have you ever checked out Sana's Instagram?
Oh, she's hilarious. Hilarious.
With those videos.
I love them. They make my day. They really do.
Yeah, find Sana Moore on Instagram and look at some of those videos, man. When I need my laugh, that's what I go to every day. I want to hear from you. Give us a call, 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. That's the number. Let's go to T from Philly on line 1. Go ahead, T.
Good morning, Mr. Solomon. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
All right. I agree with Kawisa in terms of those movies. Freddy Krueger and that daggone Judge, Grudge. I couldn't watch. I tried watching that movie about 3-4 times, even at my father's house, and early in the morning couldn't watch the sight of that movie. Like 5 minutes.
Wow.
Something about that girl. She just haunts me. But other than Chucky, it was the voice of Candyman, not the actual movie. The voice of Candyman. Because I remember when I was a little girl, they would close the room. Like if anyone who went to the bathroom, you could forget about it. They all the relatives, everybody in the house would close the door and turn the lights out and say Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary. So that Candyman did it for me.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, Solomon, nothing's more frightening than this president that is refusing to concede.
Ain't that something?
Not allowing our VP-elect Joe Biden to attend these briefings in the morning is concerning and just bad for the democracy.
I agree.
Nothing more frightening than that. So thank you for taking my call, and everybody have a good weekend. And in order to transition, I think we ought to start putting some more inspirational and something funny, some things to uplift our spirits and start back laughing again.
Yeah, I agree. And I want to thank you so much for your call this morning on WURD. Laughter has gotten black folks through a whole lot, man. You know what I mean? Being able to find joy in the midst of all of the things that have happened to and around us in this country, we have used laughter to get through a lot of it, man, and it is healing. It is healing. So I want to thank you so much for your call this morning on WURD. Let's go to Fishman from University City on line 3. Go ahead, Fishman.
Good morning, brother.
Good morning.
Any movie, first of all, I got to say Exorcist is the movie, but any movie with the theme that the demon or the evil or the devil takes over your person has to be at the top of the list. And Exorcist is one of the movies where they used to hand out throw-up bags in the movie theater. Did you know that?
I didn't know that, but I know the girl threw up in the movie and it was disgusting. I do know that.
In the theaters, they used to hand out vomit bags or whatever they call them.
Okay.
And my movie is Maniac Cop 1, 2, 3, and 4.
All right, man. I want to thank you. I want to thank you for your call this morning on WRD. Now, speaking of those movies, the character that I thought was fantastic was Al Pacino in The Devil's Advocate. Koisa, did you see that?
I don't think I have seen that.
Oh, you gotta see it.
I gotta see it. I do like Al Pacino. I do.
Yeah, Al Pacino played the devil in The Devil's Advocate. It was deep. You gotta check that joint out. Really good movie. I want to hear from you. Give us a call, 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. Let's go to Miss Hattie from West Philly on line 2. Go ahead, Miss Hattie.
Hi, Solomon. I'm so happy that you and Koisa are doing well and you're back on TV. I mean, on TV. How you like that? On video.
Thank you.
Listen, I was very concerned about what would happen if Trump keep refusing to leave the White House and how he would get out of there. So I did look it up in the Constitution, and according to the 20th Amendment, Section 1 to the Constitution, the candidate with the most electoral votes becomes President of the United States at noon on January 20th of the following year. So at noon, January 20th, Biden will become President of the United States regardless if Trump concedes or not.
Right.
And Trump will become a private citizen just before noon on the 20th. And all the allegiance of the government, military, and of the civil service switches to the winner of the November 3rd election. That's Joe Biden, no matter what Trump does.
That's true.
So I was happy to read that in the Constitution because I was kind of worried about that. And so on the spooky movies, I'm back in the day of The Exorcist. That was the first, in my day, the first spooky horror movie that came out. And I tell you, I had jumped up out of my seat, falling on the floor, howling and screaming when that girl started rising up and turning her head around. And then also Damien, that scared me a lot. And those two were the scariest for me. The rest of them were scary, but not to me. Those two were the scariest.
Okay. All right. I want to thank you so much.
I love you all.
All right. Love you too. Thank you, Miss Hattie. We appreciate you always on WURD. Now, the thing when people talk about movies like The Exorcist, right, being scary, when they talk about even movies like The Omen being scary, these are not slasher films. You don't see a whole lot of slicing and dicing. You don't see a whole lot of blood. They made you scared by the circumstance and by the tension in the movie. That's what's scary, right? And I would love to see a transition back to some of that, right, where it's really about the emotions that you evoke through the film and not necessarily just about slicing and dicing and blood and gore and all of that, because that's not scary. It's disgusting. but The Exorcist, yeah, that was scary. We're going to go to break. On the other side, we're going to continue the show right here on WURD.
Do you have a Pennsylvania criminal record holding you back from jobs, housing, education, and more? Find out if you're eligible for criminal record clearing services with Philadelphia Lawyers for Social Equity. Apply online at plsephilly.org or join our virtual clinics and speak with a law student for free. Join us on Zoom Friday, October 30th and November 13th from 2 to 4, or Saturday, October 24th and November 14th from 11 to 1. Get the link on our website, plsephilly.org. Hope to see you there.
Man, this coronavirus has us all moving differently.
No doubt. Like washing our hands more and social distancing with the crew. I'm always telling people to give me 6 feet. We're here, Grandmom.
There's my babies. Good to see you got your mask on.
Wear mask. Stop the spread. For more information, visit www.pa.gov/COVID.
Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
As a business owner, hiring and developing people from the community that your company serves is one of the best ways to show commitment to that community. Let WURD Radio help with Livelihood, our new initiative that connects Philadelphians with companies like yours. We'll feature your business, open employment opportunities, and resources to connect your company with talent and ensure that you reach your target demographic. To learn more about how Livelihood can help you build your team, visit wordworks.com. That's WURD Livelihood is supported by the Nightland Fest's Local News Transformation Fund, Borealis Philanthropies Racial Equity and Journalism Fund, and the Solutions Journalism Network.
Hey love, sincerely Sarita here, host of Save Space on WURD Radio. It's officially sweatshirt season and you know I got you covered. Start or renew your 4WURD membership today using the code SAVESPACE and you'll receive a free WURD sweatshirt valued at $35. Hurry, sweatshirt season ends November 16th. Head to WURDradio.com/join now to start or renew your 4WURD membership today. Be sure to tune in to Save Space Monday through Thursday from 7 to 9 p.m. right here on 96.1 FM, 900 AM.
You're waking up with WURD, hosted by Solomon Jones.
Good morning.
Right now on WURD Radio,
96.1 FM
and 900 AM WURD.
Good morning. This is Solomon Jones on 900 AM, 96.1 FM, WURD. And I want to welcome you back to Wake Up with WURD. We are, of course, taking your calls at 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. We're talking about a number of things, including our top three stories, which are story number one, Philadelphia City Council voted Thursday to apologize for the move bombing 35 years ago that left 11 people dead, including 5 children, and burned 61 homes in West Philadelphia. Story number two, new COVID-19 hospitalizations and deaths are accelerating at alarming rates, and health experts worry they'll get worse before the upcoming holidays. And of course, story number three, my commentary for the day, I'm looking for a transition. And I'm not talking about a transition in the White House. I'm talking about a transition in these streets. I want to see us transition from a city where people get shot in minivans and die behind the wheel, where a young man the same age as my daughter gets shot dead in North Philly, where a man not much younger than me gets killed in a double shooting, where a man in his 30s gets killed in Overbrook, and it all happens in 24 hours. When 1 in 4 Philadelphians live in poverty, we got to transition. When all we do is talk about it, we got to transition. When the schools are riddled with asbestos, we got to transition. When our lives are threatened by COVID, we got to transition. I want to hear from you about transitions. What do we need to transition to? What do we need to transition from? I want to talk about that this morning. And of course, it's also Friday the 13th. And in honor of Donald Trump, now playing the role of Jason, chasing you down and trying to kill your democracy, I want to hear about your favorite horror movie characters. Give them to me this morning at 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. That is the number you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD. Y'all have named some good ones this morning. Y'all named Chucky. Y'all named Frankenstein. Of course, you named Dracula. Somebody named Blackula. And I named the shark from Jaws. And so I want to hear from you. Give us a call, 215-634-8065.